Hey there students, welcome to Educate. Let us talk about the unit vectors and the standard base notation. So now basically a unit vector is just a vector that has got a magnitude of 1. So in a sense this vector has got a length of 1 in the xy Cartesian plane. So a unit vector is too overrated. People actually overrate it to be something that is too difficult or something, but it's basically a vector with a magnitude of 1, a vector with the size of 1. So now we can actually put the unit vectors on the x, the y, and the z axis. Let us just start with the basic one. If we put a vector on the x-axis or along the x-axis, and we make sure that it has got a length of 1, for example, it moves from here to here. This is a vector. This is a vector. You can see that this vector here, it is along the what? Along the x-axis. It's along the x-axis and it has got a length of 1. It moves from 0 to 1. So this is a vector. This is a unit vector because it has a length of 1. It is on the x-axis. So now we can describe the coordinates. We can describe the coordinates of this unit vector and say that here our unit vector is at this point. It actually moves from 0, the origin, to this point, and the point is given by the x value of 1 and the y value of 0 and the z value of 0. So basically here we're trying to say that this vector here, it has got only a length of 1 along the x-axis. Along the y-axis we do not find it. Along the z-axis we don't find it. Okay, it's weird for me to write it in this way if we're using an xy Cartesian plane, but basically here this is the x value 1, which tells us the length of the vector, the unit vector here, which is 1, and then on the y-axis is 0 because we don't find any component or any projection of this vector on the y-axis. Then on the z-axis is also 0 as well. So now if your unit vector, it is on the x-axis, if your unit vector is on the x-axis, we say it is known as I. So we use this letter I to represent it. So when you see that we've got a vector I, when you say that we've got a vector I, this is a unit vector. This is a vector I, it's a unit vector. We put a cap on top of it to say that this is a unit vector or a directional vector. Its components will be given by 1 on the x-axis, 0 on the y-axis, 0 on the z-axis. It just means that it only has a length of 1 along the x-axis. We can do the same thing and draw a vector along the y-axis, and we make sure that that vector has got a length of 1. For example, here we draw from the origin, we draw a vector that will have a length of 1. That is, in this case, we can see that this green vector here is moving from the origin where x and y are 0, and it is going to this point where y is 1. So basically, this is a unit vector as well because it has a length of 1. So now to express it, you have to say that this is a unit vector. If your unit vector is along the y-axis, we call it j. So we say it is j. We put j, a small letter j, we put a cap on top, and this small letter j with a cap on top, it will be given by the coordinates 0, 1, 0. Where is this coming from? Basically, you can see that at the head of this unit vector here, the x value is 0, but the y value is 1 because here we're on the y-axis, and then the z value is 0 because we don't have any 3D Cartesian plane here. So here, this is I, J. So whenever you see I, we are talking about the unit vector along the x-axis, a vector with a magnitude or a length of 1 along the x-axis. When we are saying J, we are talking about a vector along the y-axis with a length of 1. So the y component will be 1 there. And then we can do the same thing and extend it. We can extend it to a 3D Cartesian plane, XYZ Cartesian plane. So basically, if we extend it to the Z Cartesian plane, we can draw a vector. This is the origin. Remember, this is the origin. So we can draw a unit vector or a vector with a length of 1 from the origin along the z-axis. So let me just zoom in so that you can see. You can see that this is the z-axis. This is z is equals to 0, x is equals to 0, y is equals to 0. That's the origin. So if we move 1 unit upward in our vector, if we move 1 unit along the z-axis, this will be our unit vector along the z-axis. And to write that, or to express that, we're gonna say that that is known as vector k. So that is known as vector k. So that's known as vector k. And the vector k there will be given by what? Will be given by 0 on the x, 0 on the y, and 1 on the z-axis. This is just trying to tell us that here, this vector is along the z-axis. There is no y component, there is no x component of it. So these unit vectors I, j, k, they are just the standard base vectors. They are those vectors that tell you that they are those vectors with a magnitude of 1, and they are found on the x, the y, and the z-axis. So now let's look at the standard base notation, or we can say it's known as a triad IJK. So now basically the standard base notation works like this. This is a vector given by A is given by 2:3. 2, remember that here represent the x component of A. This is the a component, x component of A, and then 3 here is representing the y component of A. So this is vector vector A expressed using its components 2:3 in this case. So now we can write it in another notation known as a standard base notation, whereby we make use of these standard unit vectors, this IJK. So basically, for the components that are moving along the x-axis, you are going to use unit vector I, and then in this case you can say that your x component for A is 2, so that's why you write 2 here, and you write I. This I is just basically telling you that you are actually having a component along the x-axis, and then this is plus 3j. So this 3, it is the y component. In this case, it is the y component of A, and then this j tells us that we are along the y-axis. So this notation of writing a vector, this is another way of representing a vector, which is known as a standard base notation, or you can say it's known as a triad IJK. So if we are given the following vectors, PQ given by the components -3, 5, and 4, if they say rewrite this using the standard base notation, if they say use the standard base notation, remember I have to use the triad IJK, where I represent a component on the x-axis, J represents the components on the y-axis, and K represents the components on the z-axis. So in this case, to rewrite vector PQ, I'll just say this is my vector PQ. To rewrite it using this, I do not have to put these signs here, these greater than or less than signs. So basically, you have to write the x component, you start with it, is -3, and then you multiply it by the triad vector, which is I. So this I that you put next to 3 is just telling us that this -3, this x component is actually along the what? The x-axis. And then you have got the y component 5. So you've got a y component 5. The y component is positive, so I'm going to write positive 5. So I'll just write positive 5. And then you can see that this is a y component, so we are going to use the unit vector j to represent it. So we use the unit vector j. And then now we have got the z component. The z component is z is equals to 4, and you can see that is definitely positive 4, so that's going to be plus 4. And then now remember that for the z-axis we use the unit vector k, so we have to put k at the end. We put k, so we're just going to put cap on top of them. So this is known as a standard base notation of representing vectors. Look at B. We are given a vector AB. A vector AB whereby A is given by 2:0 and 4, and B is given by 3:1 and 4. Now we have to express this using the standard base notation. Basically here, to solve the components, you need the components of the vector. In this case, you are given the points of the vector. Remember that I covered this in my previous video and say that if you've got a vector AB, A here is the tail of the vector, then B here is the what? Is the head of the vector. So point A is the tail of the vector, point B is the head of the vector. To express your vector in form of its components, A, B there, will be given by what? Will be given by the x value of the head minus the x value of the tail. In this case, this is 3 minus 2. So that's going to be 3 minus 2. And then you say the y value of the head minus the y value of the tail. This is going to be given by 1 minus 0. And then this is the z value of the head minus the z value of the tail. This is going to be given by 4 minus 4. So the components of vector AB, the actual components, x, y, and z components, are given by 3 minus 2, which is 1, and then 1 minus 0, which is 1, and then 4 minus 4, which is 0. So these are the components for vector AB, because here we've been given the head and the tail for the vectors. So now we have resolved the vectors into its components. Now we can go ahead and express it in its standard base notation using the triad IJK. So now to use the triad IJK in that sense, what do I have to do? I have to just say that vector AB can be rewritten as we've got one component, one x component, and we can write 1 here. But basically, if it's 1, we usually don't write anything. So this is 1, and this is along the x-axis. So along the x-axis, we use I. So we're going to write I there. We're going to put a cap. So in the direction along the x-axis, then this is going to be plus. We have got 1 here. The next one is also 1. So we have to also write 1. And then this is along the j-axis. Along the y-axis. Remember, we use j to represent the y-axis or the y component. And then plus, we've got here 0 along the z-axis. So we use k to represent that. So to just simplify this, we can rewrite this as vector AB in its standard notation is actually given by I plus j. So it's given by I plus j. So basically, you don't have to write the 1 again. You don't have to write the 1 also here. And here you can see we've got 0k. It just means that this vector is not on the z-axis. This is actually not 3-dimensional motion. This is actually along only 2 dimensions. So in a sense, the vector AB will be given by I plus j. That's its standard base notation. But do not be misled. The unit vectors don't only exist along the x, y, z axis, but they can exist in all directions to represent the direction of a vector. What does this statement mean? So remember that we have done the IJK, whereby we have written the I vector along the x-axis, the j vector along the y-axis with the length of 1, of course, because it's a unit vector, and the k unit vector along the z-axis. But you can write this at any point on the Cartesian plane. If I can just say, assuming that this vector has a length of 1, it is a unit vector itself. Assuming that it has a length of 1, it is a unit vector as well. So basically, do not be misled and think that we only have these unit vectors on the x-axis and the y-axis. We can put them in many or in infinitely many places on the Cartesian plane. We can draw any vector with a length of 1. We'll call it a unit vector. So basically, the unit vectors, they are used to represent the direction of a vector. So when we do further physics, we'll apply this as the directional vector. It tells us the direction a vector is headed. Look at this. We've got this blue vector here. This blue vector, you can see that it's not on the x-axis, it's not on the y-axis, it's on neither both of them, in a sense that it is not sitting on top of the y-axis or on the x-axis. But we can actually draw a vector that has got a length of 1. So look at this. So let's assume that this is an assumption. Okay, let's just say this is not drawn to scale. So let's assume that this red vector has a length or has a magnitude of what? Of 1. Then this red vector, it is a unit vector. So this red vector is a unit vector because it is a what? It is a length of 1 and it is a magnitude of 1. But basically, you can see that here we cannot say that this vector is I, j, or k, because it is not on the x-axis, it is not on the y-axis, it is not on the z-axis. So we are not allowed to say this is I, j, k. But you can actually calculate the unit vector to see that if I have a certain vector, this blue vector, if I call it vector r, if I call this vector r, then its unit vector will be r, and I put a cap on top. Why am I putting a cap on top? It's just telling me that this is a vector that is a length of 1, and it is telling me the direction of r. You can basically see that this blue and the red vectors, they are moving in the same direction. So that's why I say that the unit vector, it is required to represent the direction of a vector. It's just a vector with a length of 1, and it tells you where is a certain vector headed. In this case, the unit vector, this red unit vector, r cap, it is telling you the what? It is telling you the direction of this blue vector, r. So to calculate the unit vector, to calculate this red vector, if you know the blue vector, you can use the formula. The unit vector is given by what? Is given by r over magnitude of r. In this case, you can just say the unit vector here, we can write it as r cap is given by r over r cap. So basically, if I want to calculate here, in this case, my vector r is given by the components. You can see that the components of these vectors here, it is x is equals to 2, y is equals to 2. So now we can just write this as 2i plus 2j using the standard base notation. So this is my vector r given by 2i plus 2j. So with my vector r given by 2i plus 2j, I can also find its magnitude. Remember, to find the magnitude of a vector, you have to basically apply Pythagoras theorem, whereby you find the square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So in this case, to find the magnitude of my vector, I have to find the square root of the x component of r plus the y component of r. In this case, we don't have a z component in this case. Remember that this is a 2D Cartesian plane. So now the magnitude of r there will be given by the square root of the x component is 2 here in this case, so this is 2 squared. The y component is given by 2 here also, this is 2 squared. So now the magnitude of this vector r will actually be given by what? Will actually be given by 4 plus 4. So that's going to be the square root of 8 units. So now to calculate this red unit vector, what do I have to do? Basically, I have to say that r cap will be given by vector r over the magnitude of r. In this case, if I do my substitutions correctly here, the unit vector r cap, it is a length of 1, I know, but I just want to find the vector itself. So now it is a length of 1. Here I'm going to put the vector r. The vector r is given by 2i plus 2j. So I'm going to write here 2i plus 2j over the magnitude of r is given by square root 8 units. So basically you can say that the unit vector r cap will be given by 2 over square root 8 I plus 2 over square root 8 j. So these are basically the components of the unit vector. The I and the j component of this unit vector basically tells you the direction in which a certain vector is going. It's a directional vector. So do not be misled to think that a unit vector only exists on, maybe they only exist along the x-axis, which is the I, j, and k, but they can exist in any direction to represent the what? To represent the direction of a certain vector. In this case, the unit vector r cap, the red one, it is representing the direction of the blue vector r. So now find the unit vector in the direction of the following vector. So now we want to find the what? The unit vector in the same direction as the following vector. So we are given that the vector is given by a is equals to 4i plus 2j minus 3k. This is a vector a in its standard base notation. So now to find the unit vector there, remember that you only need two things. You need the vector a and you need its magnitude. So the unit vector of a, if I can just write it as small letter a and I put a cap on it, it will be given by the vector a over the magnitude of vector a. So now basically here, the unit vector will be given here by the vector A in standard base notation is given by 4i plus 2j minus 3k. This is over the magnitude there will be given by the square root of, you apply Pythagoras here, the x component is 4 in this case, you square it, plus the y component is 2 in this case, you square it, plus the z component is 3 in this case, negative 3 in this case, so you also square that. And then this will give you, A is given by, this is 4i plus 2j minus 3k. Basically, you just let it be the way it is. So this is 4i plus 2j minus 3k over. This is the square root of 16 plus 4, that's 20. 20 plus 9, that's 29. So this is the square root of 29. So you can say that your unit vector will be given by the components 4 over square root 29i plus 2 over square root 29j minus 3 over square root of 29k. This is your unit vectors. What about C? B, you will do it on your own. Let us see C. You can see that C here is given by 3:5. This is the x component of C. This is the y component of C. So these are the two components of C. So now to find the unit vector, remember that the unit vector of C will be given by the vector C over the magnitude of the vector C. In this case, you can see that the vector C is written in form of its components, but we need it to be in its standard base notation so that we can substitute it here. So we can rewrite C in its standard base notation and say that C can actually be expressed as 3i plus 5. 3i plus 5j. This is the standard base notation of C. Basically, you say the x component is 3 and you put an I on it because it's along the x-axis. The y component is 5. You put 5 here and you put a j next to it because it's along the y-axis. So now basically to find the unit vector there, you would have to do C is equals to, you put this C, you put it in standard base notation. In this case is 3i plus 5j over the magnitude. You have to just do the square root of the x component of C is 3 squared plus the y component of C is 5 squared. So now the unit vector of C there will be given by 3i plus 5j over the square root of 9 plus 25. In this case, 9 plus 25 is likely going to be 34 if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be the square root of 34. So the unit vector of C will be given by 3 over square root of 34i plus 5 over square root of 34j if we split the denominator. So that's all about unit vectors. It is just a vector that tells you the direction of a certain other vector and it has got a length of 1. If it is found on the x-axis, it is I. On the y-axis, it is j. On the z-axis, it is k. So thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned as we make more videos.